Hey, this is Carl Munson of Expats Portugal, and this is number one of 1,000 things to enjoy in Portugal. Now, the first thing many people want to do, understandably, on arrival in Portugal is to delight in the custody pastry goodness that is the pastel de nata. Pastéis de Belém in Lisbon is seen as the spiritual home of this iconic treat for the taste buds, but these delicious delights can be found in just about every cafe in every village, town and city across the entire land. Enjoy standing up at the cafe counter with a shot of excellent and also ubiquitous Portuguese coffee and sprinkle with cinnamon or canela for a truly authentic experience of this true national treasure created by Catholic monks over 3 centuries ago. Enjoy. Hola, bon dia, Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. How are you? Welcome to 2021, of course. We're 4 days in, but welcome to the 2021 programming of the Good Morning Portugal show with me, Carl Munson. So lovely to be back. I am so glad to be back. I've had a lovely rest and recuperation and reflection on my behavior last year. And yes, regrouped and ready to be with you here again, and looking forward to being in among the Expats Portugal. See, I'm out of practice. The Expats Portugal community here on the live stream that we do every morning at 9 a.m. Nothing changing there. It sounds really echoey in this room. I have to do something about that. You had a little rejig of the studio. But more importantly, tell me about your Christmas. How was it? A packed show for you today. Not sure if we're going to get through it all. But yeah, I've been thinking of all sorts of things to share with you. The first of which, of course, if you were early, you'd have seen it there, with the 1,000 things to enjoy in Portugal, which will kick off the show each morning. And that was number one of 1,000. Predictable, but absolutely right, I think, to cover the pastel de nata. Don't worry, if you missed it, you can see that on our YouTube channel as well. So I'll be doing 1,000 of those, and I would love your suggestions to include in among the 1,000 things to enjoy in Portugal. You know, visiting, being a tourist, living here, eating, drinking, doing, being, all those sorts of things that are wonderful to do in Portugal. And we've got off to a cracking start on the Expats Portugal forum with our 1,000. We've easily surpassed 100, I think. And I'm sure there are 10,000 things to enjoy in Portugal, but we will stay with a modest 1,000 at first. And I would love your help with that. So let's go and have a look at some of the comments that are already coming in. And to come, I'm going to be looking at the week's weather. I'm a bit better prepared, I think, than I usually am. The weather for the week ahead, which is something we'll do in our new schedule for Mondays, and I'll play you a little. I've done a little advert. I'll play you a little advert for how the week's going to look as well. But yeah, the week ahead in terms of weather, and of course, looking at how your Christmas was, what your hopes, dreams, and resolutions are for 2021, seems only right to do that. We'll look at a few what's ons, because that's what we'll do on a Monday. We'll look at the week ahead. We will look at the news as well. Lots of interesting news articles from the Portugal resident that I've seen. Presidential election, of course, here in Portugal towards the end of the month. So we'll talk about that. And of course, we will cover the ongoing and unfolding and worrying pandemic. Not the numbers. You can go to Safe Communities Portugal for that. And talking of Safe Communities Portugal, congratulations to David Thomas over there, who was awarded an MBE in the New Year's Honours list. So well done, David. Congratulations to you on that award. Very well deserved. Incredible coverage from you and your team from Safe Communities Portugal. So go there for the numbers. But we may have a bit of comment if we have enough time. Very interesting article called Why Attempts to Halt the Spread of COVID-19 Are More Deadly Than the Virus. It's a comment piece from PortugalResident.com by Anthony Beachy, which caught my eye, and we may well go to that if we have time. So your comments, as I promised just now. Look at this. Happy New Year. Hey, do we like this? These comments are a little bit smaller on the screen. And I know some of us are getting on a bit here in this community. So if they're a bit too small, let me know, and we'll go back to the old style. But this is all part of the remix for 2021. So Happy New Year. That should help in capital letters for all you old giffers. From Solo 50 Plus Expats Portugal. Go over and subscribe. That sounds like a good channel, doesn't it? To subscribe to on YouTube. Solo 50 Plus Expat Portugal. Thank you, Louise, for your greeting this morning. How are you this morning? Elsa Riley, hola bon dia, happy new year. Thank you, Elsa. How is North Wales, where I am assuming you are this morning. And we've got North Wales weather here, good and proper here in Portugal now. The thermometer in the studio was, I kept hearing this noise over the last few days, thinking, do I need to change the battery in the smoke alarm? Is it a child's toy from Christmas that's making this noise in the bottom of a toy box somewhere? It's actually the thermometer that either the battery's running out or it gives a warning when it goes down to 1 degree centigrade. That's most likely, isn't it? But yeah, it's like North Wales here. They don't tell you about this, when you're researching Portugal. It is the coldest time of the year, I think, but still not too bad, only 1 degree. And it will probably go up above 10 before the day's out. You sound great, loud and clear. Thank you. I do love a sound check. Thank you very much for that, Louise. Gary Austin, welcome back, Carl. Welcome back to you, Gary, and everybody who's bothered to turn up this morning. I thought you might have forgotten me, so thank you for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. Great fun with Gary and Frank. Frank's here also with a Bon Dia rock stars to Dubai. Mike, Canadian accent. I haven't done much practice on that, but it would be something like Bon dia rock stars to Dubai. Let's get out in the boot here in 2021. So greetings from FD Devane Frank and the other Oppo in the expat man cave, which we couldn't wait. We were going to wait till I think the 8th of January, but we couldn't wait. We had a brilliant show on the last Friday. And we were discussing the best decade ever, which I think we agreed was the 1970s. For me, particularly, because I think it's so important to capture, recapture, reinvent some of the excitement and freedom of the 70s. The opposite of what's going on now, of course. Andrea Pereira, Happy New Year to us from her, and right back at you there. Igualmente, Feliz Ano Novo to you, Andrea Pereira, and Owen Lloyd Martin, Expats. That's the Portuguese way of saying expats, isn't it? Expats. Expats do ano novo muito criativo e feliz. And Owen is always good for a little bit of a spin and a twist on the Portuguese language. So to the expats, very creative, I think, and Happy New Year. Nice one, Owen. Great to hear from you this morning. I thought the list was 100, but it's 1,000. I was going to work through the list. I'm going to be busy. Yeah, I mean, it all came out of this idea that, we've all got Portuguese to-do lists, and they get longer and longer pretty much by the day. So I don't think going past 100 is going to be difficult. And I think we'll surpass 1,000 eventually. And it's thanks to Louise here, actually, that she mentioned the YouTube shorts. So they're all only under a minute, these 1,000 things to do. Just a little bit of, a little bit of an intro to one of the many things you can do in Portugal. In all sorts of ways, places to visit, things to eat, people to meet, all that sort of stuff. 1,000 of them is my first target, and they're all under a minute, and they will all be on YouTube. Thank you for that, Luis. Hola, bon dia. Feliz Ano Novo from Adrian Caffrey. Good morning to you, Adrian. Great to hear from you. I'm flipping freezing, says Deborah Davies. You're in Portugal, aren't you? And this is the thing, isn't it? The expat dream, of course, is one of walking around in shorts or barely anything, flip-flops, whatever. But not this. This is the bit we don't really talk about. But we are this morning here on the Good Morning Portugal show. So get some more layers on, Deborah. Yes, still in North Wales, says Elsa. Sun just coming up and over the mountain. That sounds lovely. Dry and cool, nice and still. No sharp wind or breeze. Yes, what did you have for Christmas dinner? Talking of sharp wind, did any of you folks from Britain have traditional Brussels sprouts, or were some of you Brexiters ignoring the Brussels on purpose? But yeah, how was your Christmas dinner? How was your Christmas? What are your hopes, dreams, and resolutions for 2021? Do let me know. Penny's here as well. Look, she's having a dry January. She's not going as far as a veganuary, but she's having a dry January. Is there not a fancy wordplay for not drinking in January, apart from dry January? So I heard some wag saying the other day, yeah, I'm having a dry January, dry martini. Every day. Bon dia, Carl. Feliz Ano Novo from Penny. Good morning to you, Penny, and the same to you. I'm watching from London, Great Britain. Flew New Year's Day to come sort out some stuff. Hope I get back in. Yes, just ring us up. Just say the Good Morning Portugal crew are waiting for me. I've got to be allowed back into the country. You're a resident, of course you're allowed back in, Louise. But what's London like this morning? 3 degrees in here. The 3 degrees aren't in here. The 3 degrees temperature here, says Penny. The temperature, not the group, indeed. Anna Forsberg, bon dia, exciting day today. House viewing in Ourique. Ourique is lovely, Anna. I'm sure you'll have a lovely day in Ourique. So And not many hopes, dreams, and resolutions for 2021 so far on the screen in the comments. I look forward to receiving those from you before the show's out, because I think it's important to have a vision. But I also understand why people are just like, oh, 2021, what now? So I understand if you don't want to share those with me, but come on, see if you can stir yourselves. I know it's Monday, I know it's cold, I know we've just had a really weird year, but let's see if we can reframe, regroup, and launch into 2021 with some goals, dreams, and visions, shall we? Okay, so let me just tell you then what's coming up in the week ahead briefly. Actually, no, we'll do the weather first, and I will share the weather with you on screen for the week ahead. That's a good thing to do, isn't it? So we'll come back to the what's-ons in just a moment. Forgotten how to do a lot of things on here because I definitely am out of practice. So there we go. The expatsportugal.com weather, that should be on the screen now. And yes, it is. There we go. That's fantastic. In Lisbon at the moment, 8 degrees. I've never seen this particular weather description before. Scattered clouds. But I imagine that's very pretty over Lisbon. 12 degrees will be the high, and 8 degrees at the moment, and a chance of rain there in Lisbon. And looking throughout the rest of the week, some sun tomorrow, although only a high of 10. Same on Wednesday, cloudy days Wednesday and Thursday. A low of 3 on Wednesday, so 3 or 4 layers, please, in Lisbon in midweek. And then rain coming back on Friday, high of 9. Saturday and Sunday, rain on Saturday, high of 10, and a high of 9 on Sunday there in the capital. And some cheeky Fahrenheit temperatures there for those of you who prefer them for Lisbon. I've only done that for Lisbon. I think we generally go with the centigrade here, don't we? Here for this crew here on Good Morning Portugal. Porto at the moment, scattered clouds. Similarly, 9 degrees the high and rain there forecast. But look at this, 3 days of sun coming up in the north, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, with highs of 10 degrees and 10 on Friday as well, albeit cloudy. And then the return of the sun on Saturday, which looks very nice, and a cloudy Sunday, 9 degrees to look forward to at the weekend. Coimbra, misty start. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Misty and damp in Coimbra. 4 degrees currently, will rise to 10, we're told, today, and a little bit of rain, possibly. And similarly to Porto, Tuesday and Wednesday will be sunny. Look at that. We've got the highest temperature so far with an 11-degree Tuesday tomorrow, 10 degrees and sunny on Wednesday in Coimbra, cloudy Thursday and Friday and Sunday at the weekend, and 8 degrees on Saturday with a little bit of sunshine peeking out from behind the clouds. Faro, look, sunny in Faro and 13 degrees. Excellent. Well done, Faro. 5 degrees and clear sky currently, 13-degree high today. Bit of rain tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Rest of the week is rainy. Enjoy it in Faro today. Your bit of sunshine and that high temperature of 13. And we do have other districts in Portugal. You only have to ask, and we will go there. So I'm just scrolling through Beja, Braga, Castelo Branco, looking for really high temperatures and sunshine. But I think the north of the country has it pretty much. The sunniest of weather. Yeah, absolutely. Even in Bragança, sunny days ahead midweek. So yeah, not the hottest of weeks here in Portugal, has to be said, but a sign of things to come. Mrs. M was asking me only this morning when she thought the warm weather would be, or when I thought the warm weather would be returning. You veterans of the Portuguese scene, what say you? When does the good weather return to Portugal? I said February. She thought March. I think February, actually. So let's go back to a few more of your comments before we have a look at some what's-ons for the rest of the week and look at some of those news stories as well from Portugal resident. And a hope and dream there from Andrea Pereira to be back in Portugal as soon as possible. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Okay, so let's. Where did we get to before? Okay, Valerie. Good morning to you, Valerie. And we featured, of course, Valerie. She got Christmas Tree of the Year award for 2020. Still basking in the glory of that award. Beautiful day here this morning in São Martinho de Porto. Sun is shining, blue skies, and in our new office. Yeah, so excited, and the view is stunning. I know that view, Valerie, and I urge others to go see you and go to São Martinho de Porto. If you're looking for property in the Silver Coast. Valerie's a great person to speak to, and we are, Tuesdays actually will be our homes, money, and business day from here on in. I'll play I'm quite proud of my little advert that I've done actually that will tell you what's happening, and if I can find that, I'll play it for you a little bit later on. But yes, Valerie, absolutely the person to speak to in San Martino de Porto, and yeah, just visiting San Martino de Porto, SMDP, where Mrs. M and I got trapped when we first arrived in Portugal. Great place to be stuck when the old camper van, when the bongo broke down. That was a really nice twist of fate. But go to San Martino de Porto, and if you're looking for property on the Silver Coast, start with Valerie. And she might buy you a coffee if you say you heard about her from Good Morning Portugal. I don't know, but she might send me the bill. Hola, was supposed to be in Farragado, but not allowed in. Tell us more, Nick. Did you fly to Portugal and then return back? That sounds a bit grim. What happened, Nick? Good morning to you, though, and Happy New Year to you. Take a tip from the Portuguese at this time of year. Stay in bed and wear 7 layers. No, hold on a minute. Become a walking clothes rack. This, we understand, is what Portuguese people do. 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 layers of clothing, possible hibernation, and just leave those layers of clothes on for the next month or two, I think is what Gary's saying there. And I tend to agree with that. Difference between Canadian and Portuguese winters: you walk around bundled up like an astronaut outdoors in Canada. In Portugal, the astronaut bundled up action is indoors. He's not bitter at all. Andrea, oh yeah, there you go. There's Andrea Pereira's dream to be back in Portugal. You're not alone there, Andrea. For a lot of people, I think, who want to be here, and we're doing all we can to help them at Expats Portugal. Deborah, I feel your pain. It's a lot warmer in London. What? You can't say things like that on this show. No cold floors. All right. Enough of the Portugal bashing, everybody. Kevin Hall, Happy New Year. Our New Year's resolution was to have a dry January. It lasted 2.5 days. Whoops. Nice try, Kevin. At least you gave it a go. Happy New Year. And you can be back on the wagon. Is it on the wagon or off the wagon? I can never remember. And I wonder what the origin of that phrase is. I suppose if you're on the wagon, it's because you're being carried, isn't it? Because you're too drunk. So I guess you guys are on the wagon, and you could get back off the wagon. You could try again, or are you just going to try again next year, maybe? Nice one, Kevin. Paolo Simoish, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Paolo. Great to hear from you. Paul Wims in the south, enjoying that hot weather. I really do not like to be a pessimist, but my goals, etc., will sadly not be obvious for at least 3 months, as the vaccine will determine them. Ooh, Paul, I encourage you to think bigger. I do understand, absolutely understand how you would premise your future in that way. I totally get it. But come on, guys, we gotta have a bigger picture here, haven't we? As well. I think we have, 2020 gave us quite a good, if it were a boxing opponent, it gave us quite a few punches in the face, no doubt about that, and a knee in the proverbials, and then a few in the kidneys as well. So I understand why people are well and truly on the back foot. But come on, let's go into 2021 on the front foot fighting. Come on, Paul. That's a starting point. I want to hear more from you as well, Paul, and not least to be maybe joining us and stepping up in the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club on a Thursday, because you've been a great friend to the wine club. Maybe there's a little bit of resolution around that. Become a sommelier down there in the south of Portugal. A new career for you. Who knows? Elsa Riley, hold on, what's this? Oh, this was a Christmas dinner. 3 rib roast beef, born and raised locally. Homemade chicken pate to start. A homemade tiramisu for dessert. Cheese and biscuits, Christmas pudding. This is definitely one where everyone ends up on the sofa just groaning, right? Homemade Christmas cake. Only dream and vision for 2021 is to be able to visit Constancia in May and buy my retirement home. Elsa, that sounds lovely. And are you buying a retirement home full of, is it going to be like Fawlty Towers with the major and other people? Because it sounds like you're buying a retirement home that's already full of people. Or is it just for your retirement? I wonder. Very interesting. Actually, that's I'll let you into one of my goals. It's not going to happen in 2021, but I do want to start a retirement home in Portugal for aging expats. I really do. I think it'll be an amazing thing to do. And I do need, it will be like Fawlty Towers, no doubt about it. Morning, Munson, morning, Major. It'll be like that. We haven't identified who the major is going to be yet, but that is one of my goals here. I'd love to be involved in an expat retirement home here in Portugal. Anyway, I didn't plan on saying that today, but seeing as Elsa mentioned it, sent you a photo on Messenger. So excited. Thank you, Valerie. That will be of your view of the lovely bay in San Martinho de Porto. Anna says, our dream will hopefully come true this year to buy a house here in Portugal and start growing our food, live as sustainably as possible. It's a great dream, Anna. Totally with you on that. Absolutely. Bon dia from Joel in Porto, enjoying the best of Portuguese weather this morning, I think, and this week. Good morning to you, Joel. Great to make your acquaintance. He's an actual Portuguese person, everybody, and a great friend and resource to us. Want to know something about Portugal? Actually, Wednesdays is Ask Anything About Portugal. And I'm sure Safaro Joel will be joining us on Wednesdays to make sure we are representing his country right. Good morning to you, Joel. I'm feeling very positive. It says, Valerie, attend on having a good year regardless of what goes on. We're busy, we're healthy, lots of positives to focus on. Yes, Valerie, well said. My target for 21 is to get the house, Austin Towers, ready for all those family and friends who will be coming this year. Hopefully. Fantastic, Gary. Walking clothes rack. Yes, that's how we roll. Actually, probably literally, if you fall over with 6 or 7 layers of clothing on, nothing bad's going to happen. And you can roll around the house like a great big Michelin man, can't you? Louise, yep, if you're looking for property, come and see us. Mention Carl's name and I'll buy the coffee. Yay, great cafe next door that makes the best hot chocolate ever. She did say coffee. If you buy a house, you might get the best hot chocolate ever as well. Felicia Anonovo, my resolution is to start my new life in Portugal soon in 2021. Morning, Doreen, far away from the narcissistic Twitler. Oh, I've not heard him referred to as that before, Twitler in chief, and the astronomical number of COVID cases here in the US. America, what is going on with you? But let's not get into that right now. But I totally understand, Doreen, where you're coming from, literally, and where you want to be also. Kevin Hall definitely will try again next year, maybe. So what happened? Try again next year. Oh, I see, with the booze. Yeah, all right. Don't want to put too much pressure on. We all must be easy on ourselves. That's the other thing. I mean, these resolutions shouldn't be ways of beating ourselves up. I think they should be ways of lighting our fires of inspiration, right? And getting us out of bed in the morning and just like having a great time. One of mine, after the Expat Man Cave on Friday, is to have a club night in Coimbra. When Persian Frank the Hat moves to Coimbra, we're going to have some. We're going to party like it's not 1999, which actually everybody was 20 plus years ago. Can you believe that? When we used to look forward to 1999, and now it's over 20 years ago. We're going to party like it's 1974. Because I believe the 70s were the best musical decade, and we're going to have we're going to include the 80s. We're going to have 70s, 80s disco in Coimbra. Who's up for that? That's one of mine for this year. And if we can't do it in person, we'll do it online. No problem. You good luck anyway, Kevin, with your with your dry January 2022. It's a good thing to look forward to. Felicia Nonovo from all from Pavor de Vargem. I thought you were doing a royal we in. That's not a nice picture, is it, to paint this early in the morning? But I thought Mark was using the royal we from Pavor de Vargem, having moved there only months ago, assuming the collective mantle. But yes, thank you, Mark, for that. How is life in Pavor de Vargem? A really great choice of location in Portugal, and that green coast, the Costa Verde, will definitely be in the 1,000 things to enjoy in Portugal. Chip into that conversation, please, on the expatsportugal.com forum. Yeah, Costa Verde would definitely be in there. Please, your suggestions for any of the 1,000 gratefully received. Through the challenges, I had a really great 2020. I have to say the same, and one does feel a little, doesn't one? One feels a little bit sort of out of place or awkward saying, actually, 2020 was great in so many ways because it was so terrible for many people. But yes, I agree with you, Louise. It's just for me, I only need a 2-bedroom chalet. That's not a retirement home, is it? That's a retirement tiny house, I think. But nothing wrong with that, Elsa. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my idea of the Portuguese Faulty Towers retirement home for elderly expats or aging expats. Lucky as well, got to work from Portugal for 4.5 months. You see, these are the upsides, aren't they? The dark side of the dark side becomes the light side. And yes, quarantine or whatever lockdown meant that Nick was able to work from Portugal for 4.5 months. Can't be bad. I think quite a few people ended up with longer holidays than planned, but now struggling to get back. I think within the next 2 months or so, we'll be out there, Corona out the way, because there will be natural immunity, parties, hugging, and humanity back in 2021. Oh, Frank, that sounds wonderful. Happy New Year, Carl. Oh, expats everywhere. I was watching your video last night of your COVID reactions there, Josh and Kaylee. Lovely to hear from you, and Happy New Year to you, folks. Lots of love to you, and all the best with everything you do. Wonderful service for people all over the world. That's Josh and Kaylee, who joined us, didn't they? Here on one of our live streams towards the end of last year, and great fun it was too. So yes, lots of love to you and your lovely family there, Josh and Kaylee. Imagine us three in your retirement home. This is what I'm talking about, Gary. Garvo, Frank the Hat, or Persian. I like the nickname Persian Frank. It has an air of danger about it, doesn't it? Persian Frank, Gary Austin. You know, I used to live in Alviagra, I did years ago, and he'd be telling us stories about Birmingham and Alviagra. It's going to be amazing. Am I the only one here that hates cold weather? I don't think you are, but the thing is that we were talking to a lot of sort of further north Europeans here, Joel, who look at your cold weather and go, "Pa," except when it goes on for more than 3 days. And then we think, why on earth did we move here? But you're not the only one, definitely. And I think other people will chime in to agree with you, Joel. But interesting to hear that you're not used to it, even as a Portuguese person. And it's fascinating this time of year in Portugal. It really is. Because this is, that thing about how there's 300 days of sunshine. The other 65 are cold, wet, miserable, and damp, aren't they? But obviously, you would lead with the 300 days of sunshine and not the other 65. But you're not the only ones, Joel. Happy New Year to you and your family. Thank you, Jacqueline, or Claire, as we know you here. And I can never remember the title of your YouTube channel. Please pop it in the comments. But fabulous at 50 is the gist of it. So do subscribe to that. That's a really good resolution to have for 2021. I might even get some Lycra on and unroll me yoga mat and join you, Claire. That's a really good shout, that actually. Morning, it's only 4:20 a.m. Why am I up? Good question, Ree. Why are you up? But it's lovely to have your company here. The rest of us here in Portugal, or who are in Portugal, 9:30 in the morning, must crack on. Our New Year's resolution, 4:20. What is she like? Our New Year's resolution, says Peter. Morning, Peter. We will speak soon. It's to get back to nature and have a Mud Club version 2 Zimmer frames provided. Absolutely. Peter referring there, of course, to the clubbing heydays of London. And Peter and I were there at the clubs. I mean, who was at the Mud Club? Spandau Ballet. Culture Club were some of the people you would see at the Mud Club, and Peter and I were there rubbing shoulders with the good and great of the new romantic scene, and having a fabulous time. And we will reinvent that. Coimbra is the ideal backdrop. So you're getting back to nature for the rest of the week, and then a hedonistic Saturday night possibly at the Mud Club version 2 in Coimbra. Well with you there. Peter, absolutely. Smash the like button, people. Show the vodcast some love. Boom, boom. Yes, smash the like button, people. He knows what he's talking about. It does Josh when it comes to raising your profile on YouTube. Do what he says. I don't know what that means, but do it anyway. Smash the like button. Come on. Let's see a few more likes here. Heck yeah, disco, Bee Gees. Woot, woot. There she is, 4:20 in the morning, and she's still up for partying. What a woman. Is Ree there over in the States? Bon dia, Felicia Anonova Torres from Neil. Good morning, Neil. So we'll do a little bit of what's on action now, actually, because if I share with you, Thursday's webinar from Expats Portugal will be, if I can find it, here we go, is Ask Our Expats Anything about life in Portugal. So we've got an amazing team who operate under the badge of honor that is Ask Our Expats, and you can ask anything you like about life in Portugal this coming Thursday. It's the first Thursday of every month that we do this, and there's one coming up this Thursday, the 7th. Glass of wine optional, it says here. Only one ticket required per household. And join us on Zoom. So come along. That's me, Astrid, and Jerry will be there. And we invite you to join us and other members of the community who have already made the move to Portugal and keen to share knowledge, personal knowledge. There'll also be real Portuguese people there as well, natives, who will be happy to talk as well as part of the Ask Our Expats experience. online event open to everyone, regardless of where you live, but all with one thing in common, and that will be Portugal, of course. So going back to Neil then, who wishes us a bom dia and a feliz ano novo a todos. Neil leading the charging of the glasses on Thursday, I believe, 9 o'clock on these very platforms that you're watching this show on. A new wine to try. Possibly, I mean, we call him Alentejo. He lives in the Alentejo, and he is a great aficionado of Alentejano or Alentejano wines. He may choose from within the territory. He may go out, but tune in on Thursday to find out, or become a member of the group on Facebook to find out what the wine is with a couple of days notice, and we can all be there tasting together. 1974, says Penny, who will be joining us with a non-alcoholic drink, actually, as we enjoy the January wines as the wine club. Penny's still joining us, one of the wine ninjas, but bringing along a different non-alcoholic beverage to review for us as well, which I think is very considerate and fortunate for some. 1974, 3 degrees number 1. When will I see you again? Very apt. Nice one, Penny. Great bit of research. Look at this. We've already got 4 people for this retirement home. 5 with Mrs. M. My kids can be the staff. So I'll have to train them right in the meantime and get them used to the sort of lifestyle we have become accustomed to and will want to perpetuate. But Louise has put my name down for the 40 Towers retirement home. What could possibly go wrong? Big yes to another one. 6. Big yes to the communal retirement home and party. We'll show the youngsters, won't we? It'll be a 70s and 80s disco in the common room every night, probably, and people arguing, no, that wasn't the best hit of 1974. This was. What about put some Earth, Wind and Fire on? I want to dance to Earth, Wind and Fire. Oh, there's my hips gone again, dancing to September. Hola, bon dia, feliz ano novo a todos from Dave and Debbie Wino. If you've just joined us, we are visualizing our retirement home here in Portugal. Good morning to you, Dave and Debbie. That's a long way off for you guys, of course, but it's worth thinking about these things. It's worth preparing. Lovely to hear from you. Happy New Year to you as well, Dave and Debbie. Claire says, yeah, fantastic 50s. I'm doing the XBX workout now. Warms me up whilst watching the show. Okay, I think, will you come back on a Friday? That's our kind of lifestyle day, Friday. Feel good, lifestyle, language. I think we need to do that. A few of us, we've got to figure out how to do that. Maybe if we get you on your camera on the Friday, will you take us through the workout one Friday, this Friday, if you want, Claire? Fantastic. I love Claire's YouTube channel. Her exercise came in handy while I was on the move. Fabulous. So Claire, let's do that. Let's all do the XBX workout one Friday morning. Morning, Carl, and Happy New Year. Hi, Jerry. For the retirement home, who will be Manuel? We've got to find all of the characters, haven't we? And I think it's going to be a mixture of 70s sitcoms, isn't it? There'll be a little bit of Are You Being Served? Somebody needs to be John Inman. Somebody needs to be Frankie Howard. That will be our guide, won't it? And we need a Hattie Jakes matron, obviously, as well. This idea has got legs. Thank you, Jerry. I'm not going to say who's going to be Manuel because that will get me in a lot of trouble. I might be encouraged to do so before the end of the show. I will do the craft workshops for the retirement home. This is a plan that is coming together in the way of another wonderful program that we all mentioned, the A-Team. We will be not the what was the retirement equivalent of the A-Team, I wonder. I'll let you come up with the answer to that. I will join the retirement home community dancing the night away. You see, everyone's well up for this. And yes, Gary, reiterating Jerry's question there, who gets to be Manuel? Everyone's sort of pausing rather than volunteering somebody else from this community. But we'll see. Hampshire won faulty. It's Major. Look, the Major is here. Morning, Major Williams. Morning, morning, Munson. Has the Daily Mail, the Daily Telegraph been... I'm not saying you're that guy, Paul. Oh, God. And offence will be the order of the day. People will be falling out left, right and centre. But our memories will be so bad that by the end of the day, we can't remember who we fell out with at breakfast. It'll be wonderful. Yes, no problem. So maybe this Friday we are on for an XBX workout on the screen. I'm Hattie. Says Elsa. This really is coming together. Neil Perkins, the wine for this week will be Tapada das Lebras de Arel. Oh, why don't you choose a longer one, Neil? Tapada das Lebras de Areolos Premium Red Vinho Regional. Alentejo 2017 if you can find, 2018 if not. There it is, folks. This is Monday. Looking forward to the week ahead. What better thing to look forward to, unless, of course, you are having a dry January, than that Tapada de Lebrich from the Alentejo. He's staying within his favourite region. So there you go. There is the wine choice of this week. Fabulous. Must go out and find that. As long as Garvo does his back to nature classes. So will we have a certain day of the week when it's the Naturist Day in the conservatory? Now that we should approach with some caution, don't you think? Because you know this expression, we've got old giffers, haven't we? We've got elders and wrinklies. Wrinklies is another expression, isn't it? And this might be the proof. We might have full-on naturist wrinkly morning on a Friday. We're doing the XBX workout in the conservatory. Bring a towel. Bring 2 towels, probably by that time of life. Frank, Carl, and Garvo as the Golden Girls. Thank you, Peter. Moving on, Mark, it would be the Z team. Of course, Mark. Yes, I love it when a plan drops off. Look, I am not Manuel. I am faulty. Honestly. I'm a bit offended, Elsa, I have to say. But actually, no, that's a part I would be glad to play. Maybe Jerry could be Basil then. I would be Sybil, says Linda Austin. Yes, Sybil, fantastic. Oh, and then we need a Polly as well, don't we? Who's going to be Polly? A more of a spring chicken than the rest of us, I suppose. This is wonderful. But the job's yours, Linda. Absolutely fantastic. Coming together. So let's have a look at some news. Sorry, this is a bit. I'm not going to go to. Best get the ironing board out. So we'll do Naturist Friday morning and ironing of the laundry, say in the same room. But that could be dangerous, couldn't it? We definitely need we definitely need a first aid kit standing by, and a couple of paramedics as well. I am not going to do that now. It seems like such a downer to look at why attempts to halt the spread of COVID-19 are more deadly than the virus. That just seems like such a terrible place to go right now. But it is a fascinating article. What I want to do actually is share some of the news headlines with you before we finish today. What a lot of fun that was, me unveiling the expat retirement home plan. That really has captured our imaginations, it would seem. So let's have a look at some news. We'll come back to that. So yeah, I'm going to scroll through because there's a lot of articles. Then he said stories again. Well, I suppose they are cultural stories, but news articles are news articles, aren't they? National Day of Mourning declared as Portugal's Fado legend Carlos de Carmo dies in hospital. Sadly, these from the last. It was a weekend, obviously, wasn't it? Second and third, so not much to report from the Portugal resident. It's interesting, isn't it, how news, it seems so important, doesn't it, the news, but obviously journalists have to have a weekend off as well. Some do, and it's always different, isn't it, at the weekend? Suddenly news becomes less important at the weekend, it would seem. But this is big news for Portugal, obviously, as the loss of national Fado legend Carlos de Carmo, who died in hospital, and this was reported on the 1st of January. So we will return and we'll celebrate the legacy of Carlos de Carmo, but obviously sad news there, and lots of love to his fans and his family, and a national day of mourning as a result of that. DGS COVID Portugal update shows another day with almost 7,000 new infections. The numbers are startling. And to some terrifying, understandably. Time to act. Did you know that Portugal has, just as it's not been mentioned yet, has it? I did say the B word, Brexit, once already this morning, but nothing's been said so far on the show about. We're just sick of your rubbish. Maybe nothing's been said so far about the UK leaving the EU, and at the same time as that happened, pretty much. Within the blink of the eye of history, is Portugal, our beloved country here, has assumed the European presidency with the motto "Time to Act." Actually, maybe we'll have a look at that, because that's a kind of national grasp, isn't it, of the year ahead. Vaccines and reanimation of Portuguese economy are priorities for 2021, says the PM. Also reported at the beginning of the year. And Portugal, I don't know if this is true where you were, it was for us. Portugal found a way to celebrate the start of 2021 despite all COVID restrictions. And me and Mrs. M had quite, I mean, when you've got young children, you tend to have quite a quiet sort of New Year's Eve often. And we did. And the Portuguese people did not let us down. Suddenly at midnight or just before, fireworks, more fireworks, even more fireworks, loud fireworks, even louder fireworks. And I have to say, I, I, I felt a real, swell in my heart, in my chest when the fireworks were going off. And I just thought, Portuguese people, you have not been cowed by 2020. It was as because I did think that. I thought, this pandemic thing, the lockdown, quarantine, the measures, this has taken some of the wind out of the sails of this wonderful country. But people were there, back with a vengeance. Well, not back with a vengeance. People were there, stepping up and celebrating the new year regardless. And it was wonderful. We went out onto our balcony, and just fireworks as far as the eye could see and as far as the ear could hear. It was absolutely wonderful. So thank you, Portuguese people, for making that happen for us. It was really superb. I don't know if it was the same where you were. Just to let you know as well, Mondays being the day when we actually, I'll do my advert for you to finish the show today, but just Mondays, just so you know, is a bit of a kind of looking ahead, what's on, that sort of thing, weather for the week. And something else that we should be looking forward to is, of course, the presidential election here in Portugal. So the voting opens on the 24th, Sunday the 24th. Postal voting has happened, obviously because of COVID isolation. And you will see a great way to learn Portuguese at the moment is to follow the presidential elections, obviously on TV, and the head-to-heads are beginning to happen, obviously in the next few weeks. So there you go. That's the big news. Portugal being the European president, or taking the presidency at the EU, and our presidential elections here as well. Okay, so Jerry, more on the expats retirement home. I hear Gary has a pet rat called Carl. People loving this. I'll job share with you, Linda, as Sybil. So there's a rota already for Sybil. It's such a good character. I mean, there are so many good characters, obviously, in Fawlty Towers, but she is the, a viperous voice of reason, isn't she? Doreen, retiree doesn't necessarily equal old. That's so true, Doreen. It just means people who are ready to retire from the madness, as so many of us are, right, of the world. Joel Safaro, news. Looking to the countdown in America. Looks like it'll be fun in the next couple of days. Yes. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people looking towards the White House and thinking, what is going to happen? You know how some people get given a cardboard box when they leave their job and they're escorted out by 2 security guards just to make sure they don't, pee in the lift or whatever it is bitter people do when leaving their job. Will Donald Trump be taken out inside a big cardboard box by a group of security guards? The eyes of the world will be watching to see how he copes with his exit. Saw an Austin 1100 for sale the other day for Basil Scott. Is that in Portugal? I had a 1300, and what a beauty it was. I loved my 1300. And yes, what we'll have to do for the Portuguese version of that, we'll have the Austin 1100, and we'll be bashing it, won't we, with a great big eucalyptus branch out in the car park, and people watching naked from the conservatory, obviously, because it's a Friday morning and it's Naturist Friday, led by Gary. Wasn't it just fireworks Armageddon? Yeah, there was some concern that the Portuguese fireworks industry has been hard hit by 2020. Not according to my estimation on the evening of New Year's Eve. It was incredible. So same way you were, Gary. Are you familiar with the Portuguese singer Sarah Tavares? I'm not, Catherine, and I will be. We do an occasional radio show called the Portugal Playlist, so I will look her up. And I think Doreen, who's here this morning, is related to Tavares, or one of the members of Tavares, which now I think about it, or have done over the last few days, it's a Portuguese surname, right? So Tavares, perhaps they have a Portuguese origin, the disco band of Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, for example. Expats everywhere. Josh is here still. The fireworks over the Douro were awesome. Oh, I bet. Thank you to all the Portuguese people that set those fireworks off in a show of togetherness. It was absolutely wonderful, wasn't it? Safely, socially distanced. Well said, Josh. Sultry singer Sarah Tavares. I really need to look her up. with that description. Thank you, Catherine, for that tip. Tried following a presidential debate yesterday. How do people speak that quickly, says Peter? Desculpas, podia falar mais devagar. Yes, sorry, speak more slowly is Peter's request there. Yeah, it's going to take us a while. But no one said that, have they? That their resolution for 2021 is to really grasp Portuguese. Probably takes longer than a year, to be fair. But come on, let's do that. Fridays will be Language Day, and we're looking forward to talking to Mia Eshmeresh, one of our language partners, more, as well as Philomena. Philomena will be back, I'm sure. And we'll talk to anyone, basically, who can help us grasp the language, get our tongues around that, literally. A family of the Ukrainian man that died under SCF received 800,000 euros. Meanwhile, a Portuguese cop that died on duty, his family only received 150,000. Such are the injustices that cause, understandable dismay in any country. I think it's true, Joel. Portugal trying to cloak its image. Yeah, I glossed over that, didn't I, earlier on? When I was looking at the news headlines there, but that's not good. Excuse me. That's not good at all. Something we may well return to at some point regarding fireworks. Yeah, that kept going on here in Matosinhos till about 1 a.m. So I think we can safely assume not a big deal for the Portuguese fireworks industry. Although, I mean, Portuguese fireworks industry, I would have thought it was a Chinese fireworks industry. I mean, not to be racist or stereotypical, but I just thought most of the fireworks would have been imported into Portugal rather than made here. But there you go. There's another thing we learn about Portugal. There is a fireworks industry here. There's an industry for everything here in Portugal. Good work, everybody. Thank you so much for seeing in the Good Morning Portugal New Year in such an upbeat and fabulous and fun way this morning. I think it's a plan, everybody. Does it get called the Good Morning Portugal Retirement Home? It's quite a good thing, isn't it? That we can all wake up together. Now it's sounding a bit like Morecambe and Wise, isn't it? We're not all going to sleep in one bed in our pajamas and nightcaps. That would be weird. But wouldn't it be lovely to be able to say Good Morning Portugal to each other in person in that retirement home one day? Rita coming in quickly with a Bon Dia, Buon Anno Novo, Happy New Year. And I'm going to finish, folks, with my new advert that gives you a clue on to what our daily scheduling will look like. So we're getting a little bit more professional here, but we're not losing our common touch. You may be glad to know. So I will leave you a couple more comments coming. Obviously, got to include those, but I'll leave you with the schedule and look forward to being with you tomorrow morning again on the Good Morning Portugal show. Doreen saying, yes, Tavares are my relatives. They used to rehearse at my grandparents' home when I was a child. We are Cape Verdeans from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Amazing. We're well connected here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Yeah, there are Portuguese fireworks companies, not as fancy as some other countries, but they go off with a bang. Very good, Joel. And here we go. This is another name for our retirement home. The Creaky Blinders. Nice one, Gary. Fantastic. Well said, sir. Let me just finish with this scheduling then, and I'll see you tomorrow.